And we are live. What's good, Josh? Your man, Dale Saint. Welcome. I really want to know. Late as hell edition. Late as hell. So, I didn't go out and do any networking, right? I didn't go kick it tonight, even though it's Friday. The weather has been whatever. And, when I did a live stream earlier a few hours ago, and it was raining like crazy. It's cleared up. It is what it is. I certainly could have ventured out. I was this close to going. I was going to hit up. There's a cool salsa spot that I been needing to get to. I know the people who run it, people who own it, and I haven't been yet. I almost went tonight. I was like, yeah. So, and of course they do Friday, Saturday. They're not doing their night on Saturday. So, anyway, I didn't go anywhere. So I'm like, you know what? This would be a perfect opportunity. Talk a little trash, have a little fun with a couple, with one topic in particular. It seems that modern women don't seem to know what top tier guys want from a woman. They seem to be off a little bit. Why is that? Let's get into it. And we are live. What's good, y'all? Welcome to the I Really Want to Know podcast, y'all. Some indeed, y'all. Get some indeed. So I had a free night. Normally on Fridays and Saturdays, I'll come in late, and we'll do like a little drunk saint episode when I'm normally, I'm lit or whatever. Tonight I'm not lit, but who knows? I might be by the end of this podcast. By the end of this stream, I might be a little tipsy. Oh man, we got brother Anthony in the building. What's good, fam? Appreciate you, bro, coming through here, man. We're gonna talk a little crazy, man. And anyone who's watching on X, welcome. Formerly known as Tinder, formerly known as Twitter. Y'all, it sound like I'm lit already, huh? Swear to God, that was my second sip. I'm going to drop the link for to have a conversation on YouTube. So if you got, that if you want to, have a say or whatever, you got something you want to get off your chest, come over to YouTube. The link will be in the chat, and just hit that link and come on up. But I got one video before I even drop the link. I got one video I want to put up here. And, we'll get this conversation going. It's since I've been moving in the Mano Swamp, man, and this out here in the red pill world, I've come across quite a few gentlemen, man, some cool dudes. Most of the dudes over there are cool, and they're all looking for answers. They're just kind of trying to figure out how to move. And, I'm doing my best to help. But now, because of YouTube and its popularity on this side of the internet, man, you start to see the same faces, and there's a lot of questions. People talk about the Fresh and Fit podcast. They like to jump on Fresh and Fit, and it's like, and what I mean by jump on, like, kind of beat them up. It's like, man, they go out here and they seek out these low IQ women, young girls who don't know nothing. They bring them onto the pod. Yeah, that's not 100% correct. That's not 100% correct. Like, they hire people to go source women. And by this point, everyone, especially in South Florida and Miami, they know what's up with Fresh and Fit. Like, most of the folks down there, even if if girls are there on a weekend trip or whatever, they're down there for a spring break, or they're just down there on vacation, holiday, whatever, they'll go to their friends like, hey, these people asked me to be on this podcast. The friends are like, what's the name of the podcast? Like, well, it's Fresh and something. Like, oh, Fresh and Fit. So they'll let them know what time it is. Like, yo, this is what that podcast is all about. So when, people try to make these excuses, I'm not buying it. And it's funny when no matter what platform you're on, when you have these conversations, you tend to hear the same answers in the same line of thought that coming from women and certain type dudes. Rollo Tomasi and Michael Certain have a podcast. It's called Access Vegas, but they post the clips on Rational Male Clips. And there's a clip on here that I want to share with everyone real quick. That talks about this very thing. How Fresh and Fit, they're like Myron and Fresh. They go out there and they get these dumb girls, and that's not necessarily the case, guys. In fact, it's not the case at all. They hire people. Myron and Fresh have no idea what women are going to show up for these shows. They show up, they do what they got to do. They get there. The producer, Chris, runs that along with Icy, and they have a team that actually goes out and source women from all over South Florida. That's just how they do it. So it's not Myron and Fresh and, oh, this woman is too smart. Don't let her talk. Let's get a couple more dummies in here. And they track, they keep track of their stats as to who comes on the podcast. So I just want you guys to hear this real quick. I thought this was going to be funny and quite interesting to hear these numbers. So let's check this out.
Beautiful. Okay, do you want to go with another one?
Before I do, I have to correct Jesse one more time.
Oh, good Lord. Why
Sorry, because you said that Fresh and Fit just get dumb hoes on their show.
I said they get a bunch
every time this happens.
Were you talking about Fresh and Fit or were you talking about the video?
Basically.
Yeah, no, Fresh and Fit does not usually get, no.
The words Fresh and Fit never came out of my mouth. That's why the podcast
who else?
Here.
Okay, so for Fresh and Fit, anyways, they've had last count, anyways. Thank you, Big Mo. 2,132 female guests. Ages range from 18 to 46, from 45 different U.S. states, 61 different countries, with 181 different job titles, including unemployment and 159 Frank Castles.
Frank Castles. There we go.
Also did two panels
Thank you,
with
Big
all
Mo, for your
40.
contributions.
I did 2 panels with all women over 40. I pretty much did
You
the
guys
same
realize
thing.
I wasn't like trying to say you did this or you did that.
We
I said
understand.
most
but
of the
it's-
podcasts that are floating on the internet.
Well, Jesse, I'll tell you this. Like, so there's 2 issues. Number one, I don't think it's hard enough to get 10 girls to come on a show. Period. So I don't like to be select. The idea that I only want young, and I know you're not talking about me, but the only idea that I want young or dumb is not true. The thing is, when I come on here, I try to get the 3 M's. I try to get mothers, master's degrees, and I try to get married. And when I do so, the answers are exactly the same from the 22-year-old girls with an OnlyFans. It's exactly the same answers. This is my point. It's like,
and Michael Surtain is very, very, very political in the way he conducts his platform and his interviews. Most of the women, not most, all of the women who are on the platform, Access Vegas, or personal friends with Michael Surtain from his business dealings and stuff like that, right? That's like his world. This particular woman here, Jessie, extremely feminist, extremely modern. She has a dude. And I don't know this woman. I've never met this woman, but just from seeing her, she has a podcast now as well. She is always adamantly against the talking points from the other side, from the RP world, even though she embodies everything that they talk about. And that's not a hit on her. I'm not trying to dog this woman. She's doing everything she needs to do or feels she needs to do to get the type of guy that she wants. What most of these women hate to admit, and what they will never acknowledge, almost never, is that they will share a successful man before they will be stuck with an average dude just gonna love them and pedestalize them. They'll share a successful man, a top tier guy who's out there doing this thing so long as he comes home to her. They hate admitting that, but they will. They'll go out there and say, nope, I'm not gonna take, I want a guy who's gonna do all these things and have all this money and have all these traits and just be perfect, and he's only gonna be for me. He's not gonna want any other woman. Nah, nah, sis. That guy's a unicorn. Does he exist? Sure. I'm sure he does. But guess what? Some woman been done got him. Right? So I just wanted to show that when people talk about the whole Fresh and Fit thing. And then she went on to say that it's not necessarily that the women are dumb. It's just the women don't understand what's, you don't tell the women what the quote unquote debate's gonna be or what the topics are. Which when I heard that, I'm like, well, do your research, right? So let's continue.
I don't think they're selecting for dumb young girls. I think they're just getting what they're getting. Now, on whatever podcast, I will grant you, there's a lot of girls who go in anime costumes who are just there to get fucking attention. I agree with that. Not so much on Fresh and Fit. Fresh and Fit will have surgical nurses and fucking master's degrees on there all the time.
Yeah, but you guys are studying different topics. You guys are specifically focused on like red pill, blue pill content. And then you bring on women that have never researched these topics. They're not reading the content you're reading. And then you guys make examples of them for views. That's 100% what happens.
I've had a little bit of this anger with him sometimes because I will religiously ask him before the podcast, what are we talking today about?
I'm sorry, I should have sent you the videos.
I do not like walking into a situation where I sound or feel stupid because I can't contribute because I didn't know that this thing happened or whatever it is that they're discussing. And he's like, don't worry, just come on. And I am like, no, absolutely.
Yeah, like we're not sitting here with laptops.
That's the problem, that they have a lot of unaware.
And On the one hand, I want to say I get where you're coming from. On the one hand, like I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. Maybe the very first time you were invited to one of these platforms and you went, okay, maybe. But surely by now, I mean, that Jessie lady, I mean, she's been on countless Access Vegas podcasts. She's been on, she has her own podcast now. I mean, I've seen her around in the space, and there's other women just like that. I refuse to believe that Michael Surtain's circle of female friends and associates have no idea what Access Vegas is all about, or whatever podcast is all about, or what Fresh and Fit is all about. I just don't believe it. And again, if someone says, hey, we're going to do something, I'll grab this thing right here, right? And I'm going to type in, what's the name of it? Well, let me go ahead, Google, what's this all about? And then it'll come right up. So, and I've been invited to be on, podcasts, this and that. Hey, can you come and do this? And I'll look it up. And, most of the time I'm like, bet I'll come do it. Sometimes I say no, like, nah, I see what you're doing, bro. I'm not rocking with that space. Right. Sometimes I say no. I'm like, well, maybe I'll be watching. Maybe I'll jump in on one of your panels one night. You know what I mean? If you guys are talking about something that I think is, whatever that I think is cool, or I want to holler, I want to talk about. But, sometimes I say no. Right. So I don't understand where she's coming from, bro. Like it's just do the research.
Uneducated on the topic at hand. Girls come on.
I agree with that.
And they look dumb and they look uneducated and they're young. And like it's just, you pile on a lot of components where women are being stacked up against.
Right.
And that is what keeps circulating through social media.
Isn't there some
it's not the clips of the very smart woman having an intellectual conversation with the men.
Where are those?
It's always there's always the clips of the 22-year-old girl. I have had sex with 70 guys this week, and that's what men think of women, and that's what's going around, and that's why everyone.
I see her point. She's exaggerating it, of course, but I see her point. The Fresh and Fit has thousands of hours, literally thousands of hours of really solid conversations with solid women on the Fresh and Fit podcast, especially in the early years. Early on, some really good after-hour conversations on there. Like their daytime programming, like when you go watch the daytime show, good stuff there. But that doesn't bring in the views or the clicks, right? What does? The crazy girls losing their minds, swinging on people, tearing up equipment, saying stupid shit and stuff, not refusing to leave the premises where like, man, you got to leave, get out. Then they don't want to get out. That is the stuff that makes headlines. That's the stuff that's going to get the clicks, obviously. You know what I mean? Brother Mark is in the building. What's good, fam? You right about that, man. You were right about that, bro. There's something to be said about just keeping it real, being based. That's the term that everyone likes to use. Whenever I go and I talk to folks, like people, you can tell folks are waiting. They wanting this screaming back and forth. Like I'm not on that. I'm just going to sit here and just say what I got to say to you, bro. Like, this is what it is, man. Like, take it or leave it. And then, so you're saying this. Like, I didn't hear myself say that. Did I say that? Well, I'm just, based on, I'm like, look, bro, if you got a question for me, ask me the question and I'll tell you, right? I'm not into that. People, a lot of folks on some of these platforms, they just don't know how to have a conversation. They just don't. They think it's like a screaming match and I scream louder and I cut that person off more. Therefore, I won. All right, if that's what you want to believe, that's on you. But the point that she's making, of course, the sensationalism is going to get clicks and views, of course. But did nobody tell that woman to do that? Didn't nobody tell these dudes to go out here and act all crazy and say, it is what it is. And, for the most part, because of this technology, and we can share these thoughts on these different platforms, a lot of women, they don't like what they're hearing because they do a quick assessment of what they've been doing. And they're like, oh, shit. Right. And like even on Fresh and Fit, it's like, you guys are talking about getting these top tier men, yet here you are single. Right. And, you done ran through how many top tier dudes?
Everyone is talking shit and saying 304s, whatever.
Why do they get in fan? Why is it you treat them like babies? Like if you're going on a podcast, Wouldn't you do research?
On what?
What
Yeah, so
their
you can go
research?
back to
research
the whole
everything in the
back
world
catalog.
in case I know for sure what they're going to
It
discuss.
doesn't need to be you have to research everything in the world, but
that
you can get a
sounds so
general
dumb.
idea for a
I didn't even
podcast
know
by
who else was
watching the
coming on the show
backlog.
until
Let me
10
try
minutes.
this.
Why
Hold
is
on.
that necessary?
Hold on,
You can
hold
still
on.
go through
David,
the
if you-
backlog of the content.
Joe Rogan-
understand
oh,
what they usually talk
If
about.
Joe Rogan was going to have you on his show, would
Yeah.
you do some research before?
For sure.
How much would you do?
A lot.
I would do at least 22 hours of research.
I'll do a week.
Yeah, a week.
Okay.
I would be.
And then you
I would
walk on there, and what he talks about has nothing to do
No,
with
but that's not.
anything that you
but Joe Rogan
researched.
lets you do whatever
So
you
then
want.
what?
Yeah.
I would be so rock solid when I did whatever podcast. If I ever have to do a debate against Andrew, you better fucking believe with Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
That was 30 hours of research I did
Yeah.
before I went up with Destiny.
But you know,
I am never taking a fucking L on with 1 million people watching me. That is not going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
So that's
And right now, what you're witnessing is the difference between men and women. She's saying, you guys have to tell me exactly what's going to happen so I can study for A, B, and C, and then I'm properly prepared. And then if I do poorly, then it's my fault for not studying. That's not how men get down. Men have conversations. We talk about stuff. You go on Joe Rogan because she's like, well, that's stupid. What are you going to study to be on Joe Rogan? You're going to study your talking points. Joe Rogan's going to let you have a conversation. That conversation can go anywhere. You have to be prepared to engage at every level. But you should go in there with an idea of where I want to keep the conversation. If I go on to Joe Rogan, for instance, if somehow Rogan's like, yo, DL, come on out here, blah, blah, blah. What are we going to talk about initially? Stand-up comedy or shared interests. I started at the Comedy Store. I was in LA. I'm going to tell him the stories about when I was around him, having conversations with other comics. And he's going to be, oh, you know so-and-so? Like, yeah, I know them, but blah, blah. It's going to be that conversation. We're going to start there. And then we're going to get into my history as a comic and how I was an air traffic controller by day and stand-up comedian by night and promoter and all that. Oh, you were an air traffic controller? Did you work at LAX? No, I worked at Van Nuys. I've flown out of Van Nuys. I know. Right? So we're going to get back. That's where the conversation. So we'll probably talk about air traffic and probably talk about systems and, just the way Joe Rogan works. We'll talk about AI. We'll talk about the strike back in the 80s. Right? And then after that, who knows where the conversation is going to go. Right? That's how you prepare for a Rogan type thing. Let me get my talking points down. Let me make sure that my story and what I'm going to say is going to be popping. But she's saying, no, you got to tell me exactly what we're going to talk about on Joe Rogan. Rogan's people are like, well, just don't come on the show. There's nothing to talk about there. We're not going to give you talking points. Now, if you're going to go on Andrew Wilson's platform, it's Bloodsport. Look it up. He gets down the way he gets down. Look at it. Before you say, yeah, Andrew Wilson, let me look him up. Oh, the Crucible, this guy? Yeah. Oh, I don't know if I want to do that. Well, or it's like, yeah, I can't wait to do it. Let me get my stuff right. This is what I'm going to talk about. Men are going to figure it out and find a way. Women are like, well, I need you to tell me because I'm busy with my life over here. I ain't got time to be figuring this out. If you want me to show up and bless you with my time, you better tell me what we're going to talk about. And I ain't mad about that. Right? That is what it's like to be a beautiful woman who's highly sought after. And her mind is her time is way more valuable than yours. So if you want me to be there, you better prep me or allow me to prep myself so I don't look bad. Because if I look bad, I'm never coming back.
That's the thing. Like sometimes
Yeah, it
we,
is.
huh?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Yeah, Andrew's coming for me.
Well, no,
Andrew's coming for me.
see, a lot of times it's designed, and I can sort of understand what Jesse's saying here is because I have gone on to podcasts where I have debated like people like Ruslan, for example. It's like there was no topics ever thrown at me for that, and they're saying, well, you should know this and you should know that. I'm like, well, if I'm on trial, if it's not a debate anymore, and it's just like an indictment or just sort of a witch hunt. Well, of course, I'll defend myself as best as I can. But it's like you can study somebody up to a point, but if they're going to say, okay, well, we're not going to talk about anything I've talked about in the past, and we're going to talk about, I don't know, nuclear proliferation or some shit like that. I'm like, okay, well, I'm at a disadvantage here.
But those are the exceptions to the rule.
True.
Right?
And those are the exceptions to the rule, and men roll with it. Men roll with it. Okay, I'm at a disadvantage here. Fine, whatever. I can roll. I can talk about anything. And if I don't know, I'm good enough to change the conversation and take it down a road that I'm more comfortable with. That's just how men get down, where women are just like, you're being mean. It's the difference between men and women. Are there women out there who can roll with it? Of course. There are tons of them. I can't think of them now, but most of your conservative, like people like I Oh man, can't even think of what's the name of the black girl, man. It was with Kanye and all that, man. I can see her face or whatever. I can't think of her, but her. She can roll in anywhere and she'll be like whatever. You want to try to ambush her, you can ambush her. Damn it, I can't think of her name right now. Black conservative girl, just had a second baby. Very, very, very conservative. She's got that Ben Shapiro beef, right? Candace Owens. There it is. Candace Owens. I couldn't think of it. But yeah, man, she'll roll in anywhere. Talking about anything. She doesn't care. Right? She had a conversation and on someone's podcast. It was a conservative podcast. And she was talking to a big time liberal. And like it was, you know, she lost. She was outgunned for sure. But it was a great conversation. In fact, the guy's running for president now, one of these fringe parties. You know what I mean? And see, this is where I should have prepared and wrote down my notes, right? But his name would come to me. But yeah, she was on this podcast and talking to this brother, and I mean, he took care of business. I mean, she stood her ground. But you know, she took care of business, and this guy's more of a socialist, communist type dude. Like I said, far, far left. Dr. something. It'll come to me again. I can see his face in my mind. But I'm so focused on what I wanted to talk about tonight, I just kind of drifted off onto him. But let me see 1 second. I'm loading up the next one, and there it is. So a lot of women, especially modern women, they get upset when they go somewhere into unfriendly territory and it doesn't work their way. And it's like they start looking for, it seems to me, and I could be wrong, but they start looking for reasons as to why things didn't go the way they wanted to go. Well, if you'd have told me we were going to be talking about this, I could have prepared for it. Well, I didn't know what we were going to talk about. When I invite people over and I, interview them, or if I invite someone over to this platform, we have a conversation, I'll say, hey, we're going to start here, but I have no idea where it's going to go, especially with the chat, because a lot of this is driven by the chat. So here are the talking points that I'm hoping to get out. I got my notes down here. Most of the time I get through them. Sometimes I don't. And then people are like, okay, fine, let's get into it. I bet, let's get into it. So I was watching that stuff. I found this video when modern women get humbled, right? Again, this is a Fresh and Fit is now like cool with anyone and everyone using their material. You know what I mean? And they put out a lot of content. They don't care who uses that content. So there's so many channels popping up, centered around Fresh and Fit content, Fresh and Fit material. This channel isn't solely Fresh and Fit. Like some of the others they just basically play it. There's no commentary. They don't chop it up. They just let it run and just, get the clicks or whatever. But I thought this was pretty good. This particular guy's breaking down two separate women on two separate shows on Fresh and Fit, alpha type women. And it's just, I thought this was a real good video clip to break down because, I always talk about game and understanding the sexual marketplace and all that. People like, well, they take game to mean so many different things. I start with the fundamental definition for me of game is understanding. Just understand how shit works and then move out from there. Just understand that. A lot of like older modern women, they don't want to accept certain things. And they just get older and older and older and more successful. And they wonder why they can't get a guy. And it's not, I always tell these women, like, it's not that you can't get a guy. You can't get the guy you want, right? Look at Vivica Fox, 60 years old. She's talking about, I want a guy who's going to take me shopping and, he's going to pamper me and put me on a pedestal. Like, baby, nah, like, I don't think it's going to go down like that. There's some dudes out here who want to take you on, but it's not going to be the guys that she's looking at. She wants to go out there and, probably wants to spend $100,000 a month shopping. You don't have to do that with your money, shorty. There's some guys out there that want to rock with you, maybe, you know, go out to pasture with you, but she has to understand she is well past her prime. But I digress. Right. Let's get into this. I'm definitely going to drop the link this evening if anybody wants to jump up and have a talk.
Disclaimer: the comments made in this video are intended solely for entertainment purposes and are not intended to harm or offend anyone.
You don't qualify for the man that you want. I know that you have
You
certain
don't know
habits.
me.
Qualify
You
for the man
don't
that
know
want.
me.
I don't have to know you.
Here are two instances when modern women get humbled instantly. Episode 2. Starting with this 32-year-old woman who's a model and believes she deserves the top 1% men.
Do you want a high value guy?
Say it again?
Do you want a high value guy?
Yeah.
You do. Okay. Do you think you can negotiate with a high value guy?
No.
Okay. Who do you think has the power and control when you're with a high value guy, you or him?
Together. It's a team.
Okay.
She's a
The
partner.
answer is actually he has the power, not you.
He absolutely has the leverage. He absolutely 100% has the leverage. Why? There are less of him. There are less of him. And if that's what you want, you're going to have to get on his program. That's just how it works. Game 101. That's how it works. Right? You can't agree to play a game of baseball and get mad because you got 3 strikes. And you're out like, nah, I want 7 strikes. Nah, baby. You only get 3. It's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. We're at the old ball game. It's not 1, 2, 30 strikes, you're out. No. Women don't understand that that's how the sexual marketplace works. When they're young and at their peak, they can demand a lot. Dudes are going to tolerate a lot. But as they begin to climb that ladder and they're trying to get the top 1% or the top tier guys, the highest tier guys, they're going to have to get in where they fit in. This woman is in her 30s, foreign, right? Definitely foreign born. I don't know if she lives here in America or she's living somewhere else and just kind of working or whatever. She's attractive, but she's past her prime. She's past it. This woman right now would not be able to compete with her 20-year-old self. But she's like 30, 31 years old, and she's still expecting the highest of high, the superior dude. And not only does she want this guy, but she's like, I want him on my terms. That's not realistic at all.
So, I mean, if anything,
It's not my situation. I don't want to have a guy that tell me what I have to do or what I have to think
That's
or
why
what
you're
I have
single.
to feel.
That's why you're single.
okay.
You
She
know?
wants her own mind.
Okay. well,
Maybe.
No,
that's why.
Maybe.
But here's the thing: if you're with a guy like that, they're
But
gonna
you
be
ask-
masculine, and they're gonna expect you to have certain. You're gonna have to follow him.
Yeah, but the question is that
It's a degrading
I
question.
don't accept that.
You don't accept either one.
It's not a degrading question. Not at all. Every woman at that table, every night, right now, Fresh and Fit has a table full of women. Every woman at that table will describe the exact same man that they want in a mate, the guy that they want. They will describe the exact same dude. They believe that the world is full of them. But if you break down the numbers, it's like, well, if you want someone that's over 6'3" in America, that's like, what is it, 7%? Something like between 7 and 9% or something like that. Just 6'3". And then the taller you get, that smaller that number gets. Right? People 6 feet and over in America is like 14% of the country. So right away, just based on the height requirement, and most women want dudes that are 6 feet and taller, because most women will say, "I just want a guy that's taller than me." And then when you press them on it, it's like, "Well, just give me a height." They generally land around 6 feet and above, right? Because they'll say, "Well, I just want him to still be taller than me while I have on my heels, and I wear this size heel." And okay, cool, that's fine. But you're talking about 14% of the country, right off rip. Before we get into money, before we get into education, before we get into looks, before we get into anything else, right? It's you ain't got a whole lot you're working with. So for these people, like, oh, that's a degrading question. The woman who said that sitting there in the pink, that's a degrading question. It's like, love, nothing against her, but it's like in the sexual marketplace, it's like, baby, you ain't even attractive. Now it's like every woman at that table can get smashed by a top tier guy. Every last one of them. They find themselves on a yacht party. They find themselves in the VIP somewhere, like some sort of mansion party or someone's house. They find themselves in a nice party, and there's a top tier guy there. He's smooth. He's charismatic. She's there, and he'll smash her. But that's it. Right? That's it. We just, that was fun. Thank you. High five. See you out. Bye. What's your name? You don't need it. Bye. Take care. Bye-bye. Right? You on some Iron Man stuff, bro. Some Tony Stark type stuff. Let's continue.
No.
A guy cheating on you, or
This is my position.
She contradicts her own statement by saying that she wants a high-value man, but won't listen to his commands. Her inconsistent responses shows how delusional she really is.
what is more common, you or a high value man?
Successful man with money, status.
What's more common, you or him?
But
Both.
Both people.
you can find both.
No. What is more common, you or him
What is more common where?
in the world?
She knows the answer to the question. She simply doesn't want to say it. Beautiful women are a penny a pound. They're everywhere, especially in places like Miami. Beautiful women are everywhere. You want to get a tall millionaire? That's top 5% anywhere on planet Earth or higher. Think about that. She understands the question. She's not, she's a smart woman. She gets it. She just doesn't like the answer. She doesn't want the answer to come out. That's all. I think a lot of women who find themselves in this situation, people like, women like Vivica Fox, they get it. They're like, oh man, I screwed it up. I didn't lock the guy down when I had the chance. And now I want to lock him down. Well, it's too late for those guys. Now there's some dudes who are doing, well. They might not be in the top 20%, but there's some guys out there who are doing well. He'll care for you. He'll love you. He'll work for you. He'll personalize you. But nah, you can't go shopping and go buy Birkins and all that with his money. Go to the Airman store. You can't do that. No, you're not flying first class. No, you're not going to Tulum. No, you're not going to Bora Bora. Not on his budget. You're not doing all those things. Yes, he's going to expect you to cook. Yes, he's going to expect you to clean. Yes, he's going to, you know what I mean? So and they're like, well, I'm not going to settle for you. I would rather be by myself. And you see this so often, and it's so sad.
In the world.
You, a girl like you, or him?
I don't know. I
Okay,
don't know.
I'll
I don't
answer it
have
for
the
you.
answer.
I'll
I
give
don't
you the
have the
answer.
facts.
I'll give you the answer.
You know?
You
don't want
are
to
more
make false
common.
I don't like to talk
accusations.
about anything about I don't know.
Okay,
You
well,
know?
I will tell you. You are more common, not him. He is rare. You are not. Because here.
He can choose another girl. I don't care.
Okay, that's fine. You can choose another
You
girl.
know? I
What-
don't need to accept that because I love myself. So I have to accept the things that I don't like it because I can be by myself.
It is.
I prefer to stay by myself than accept that
Okay.
shit. You
Okay.
know?
So you would prefer to stay by
I don't
yourself
need that.
than have a man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
as long as you're okay with that.
That's
but
fine.
The reality is you're 31 years old. Okay.
I don't care the
And-
reality. You ask me what I think.
Okay. But I'm telling you, what you think might not be the best way to think given your circumstance. You're 31 years old. You have a profession that a lot of guys might say, I don't know. So you don't really have the power to negotiate with a higher status man. It's his way or the
Baby,
highway.
the power is not only about the money. It's what is in your mind. You know?
That sounds great, but you're not going to date a homeless guy with a great mind.
Myron completely shatters her argument with his questions. However, she never accepts the true reality, and her arrogant behavior will only continue like this.
You
What
wouldn't
you
be
said?
homeless if you had a great mind.
Yeah, like you can say
Right.
that. That sounds great, but you're not going to date a bum.
The
with a
man
great
will
mind.
lead the relationship, basically.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're okay with being single, but that mindset is not conducive to finding a higher status man, is what I'm trying to say.
If I am in a relationship, I don't accept that. I don't negotiate that.
And
Then they're
that's
just
why
going to get a younger, more attractive girl that will accept that, and
So-
you'll be single.
What? I just have a question. How
Like,
much?
I don't think
how
women
much-
understand. Like, yo, ladies, when you're with a guy that's high value, who you all think that you deserve, by the way, there's no negotiating. It's my
There's
way
not.
or the highway. He's going to have other bitches.
You gotta get with it. or
He's
get
going to
lost.
have other women.
Let's do
And
it.
that's how it goes.
Straight up.
Let's do it.
Other niggas.
Like,
I've
we're
been there.
we're not gonna
We can
sit
get
there and
other
be like,
niggas.
oh, like, what do you think about this and blah blah blah. If he does that, you should thank God. But most of the time, they're just gonna lie to you.
That's
and say ridiculous shit like that.
if
Like,
I only choose a man only for the money, for sure I have to negotiate that. But I don't choose a man only for the money.
oh, what do you want?
You know?
What do you want then?
A good hair, a good feelings.
spiritual energy.
You know?
Pure soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
Will you date a man that makes less money than you?
Say it again?
Will you date a man that makes less money than you?
No.
So you see, there it is right there. I want to let that one run a little bit to get to that part right there. I want a guy who has a good heart, who's spiritual, who's a nice person. You know, we're on the, you know, he's my soulmate. I want a guy who's like, he's a great thinker. All right. Will you date a guy that makes less money than you? No. Well, what happened to all that? What happened to all that stuff? Because men date women who make less than them or have a lower net worth all the time, right? Men look for different things, of course, but when women have these conversations, they lose every time. And when you say it back to them, I've had women on this platform was like, hey, would you date a guy? Would you have a relationship, a serious long-term relationship with a man who makes less than you? Well, yes, but he has to be ambitious and he has to be on track to out earn me. I'm like, no, he's making $60,000 a year. You guys are living in Central Florida. He's only going to make $60,000 a year. He's not going to make any more money. Will you be in a relationship with that guy? He's everything else you've ever wanted in a man. And they all say no. I'm not mad at that. That's the game. That's how the game goes, man. That's how the game gets played. I ain't mad at that. But women need to understand that the dudes who do make the money, they choose. They get to choose because they have all of the leverage. Now, some of these dudes, they fall in love, they lose track of their emotions, whatever, they lose control. It is what it is. But most of the guys, even the guys who lose control, they, maybe they lose a little bit, maybe they get divorced and they lose and they lose half their money, but then they get it back. Oh, the next time, it's going to be paperwork. Next time it's going to be someone even younger. It's just all kind of things that they do. But at the end of the day, for the women like this young woman here, which there's nothing wrong with her. She's in her 30s. That's young to me. But that's old for those guys out there making the big bread. And another thing that's like this like working against her is her attitude. Now I get it. She's sitting there fresh and fit. She feels she's on the defensive. She's saying these wild things. But there are women at the table that are like, nah, sis, you wrong. There are women at the table like, nah, if you want to get you a dude who's making all this bread, he gonna do what he doing out there. Right? And if you got a problem with that, you can leave. That's how it works. He is going to do these things. He is not going to sit there and listen to you tell him what you're not going to do. It's like, oh, word, bye. Bye. I'll just go get the younger. I'll get a slightly younger version of you. Be almost exactly the same. So a lot of these women don't understand that. And I don't, for the life of me, get it. Like, why don't y'all get that? Like, I can see you're going to negotiate with a dude that's, a lower tier guy who's doing okay. And maybe you got to negotiate with those guys. But the top tier dudes, nah, you got no say at all. I don't care how fine you are.
Oh, and a man with money is gonna have multiple women. I can't even lie. Like, yeah, but money, no, it's gonna have.
No, but you know something. Now the people is working in both things. You can work in your spiritual lifestyle and in your money too. Why not?
So you need both.
So you can.
Yeah, why not?
So you need even more then.
Why not?
So she needs even more.
So you want a guy with money that's gonna sit there and negotiate with you?
Say it again.
Man,
yeah,
it's a headache. All right,
okay,
we're gonna move on. Like,
what do you?
I'll just be honest with you. You don't qualify for the man that you want. I'm just gonna say it straight up.
You don't know me.
No, based on your actions, I don't have to know you. I know that you have certain habits and mannerisms. You don't qualify for the man that you want.
Me.
I don't have to know you.
Okay,
I'm telling you, you don't qualify for the man that you want.
Okay, boss.
This kind of women never learn until they fall flat on their faces. And if you thought this was unbelievable, then this next clip will surely leave you amazed.
Now, I want to be clear. A lot of folks, they'll say, man, you're saying all women are like this. No, I'm not. I'm not saying all women are like that at all. No, all women are not like that, in fact. But the thing is, there are a lot of women who are. And as you move up the ladder, right, as you get closer to the top, those women seem to be concentrated towards the top third. They're up there. Why? Because they're hunting those top tier guys. And man, they got really, some of them got really bad attitudes, man. Really bad attitudes. Like in this next part that's coming up. This woman, apparently, I think she was an exotic dancer. Maybe she was an exotic dancer, or maybe she was like in the, like bottle service or some sort of server or whatever, working in the clubs. Again, Another heavy accents, another beautiful woman. I think this woman is probably from Eastern Europe because Myron was putting on his Russian hat. And this woman actually managed to get a top tier guy and marry him. Like a high earner, she married the dude. She actually won, right? That's how you win the game. If you're a young, beautiful woman and you're trying to leverage your youth and your beauty to get you a guy, you get the guy. He's a top tier guy. He's a high earner. He's making 6, maybe 7 figures a year. He's willing to take care of you. He's absolutely in love with you. You won the game, right? That's it. You won. That's it. Congratulations. But this woman did what so many other women do. They screw it up. They screw it up. Let's get into it.
Fresh and Fit podcast invited this 30-year-old female stripper who is now divorced and single. Myron's curiosity piqued as he delved deeper into her past, uncovering the truth about her ex-husband.
But to be honest, my ex-husband actually been complaining about me going to the club for work. But why I did that? Because at the beginning I was staying at home. But then when I see that there is no responsibility, there is no he doesn't think about me first, then I start going and making my money back.
Okay. First few words, right? This woman is an exotic dancer. She's an exotic dancer. He met her in the club. So I talk to dudes all the time, man. They go into strip clubs and they marry. Marines are notorious for this. United States Marines are notorious for marrying dancers. It's so bad in the United States Marine Corps. They actually have classes that's in the United States Marine Corps handbook, right? Handbook, bro. So this woman was a dancer. This guy meets her probably at the club. He knew she was a dancer. He got her to quit. Well, just let me take you away from all this, baby. I can, I know you're doing this because you have to. You got to take care of your mom and your ferret is sick and, you got to put your kid through school or whatever, like your kid's sister or something. All right, let me take you away from all this. He gets her out of there. He marries her, puts her in a house, takes care of everything. And what does she do? She goes back to the strip club. She starts stripping again. And told him she was going to do so. Why? Because she wasn't getting attention. Right? Like, bro, what the hell?
I would say if he told you not to go to the club, he's definitely thinking about you first.
Was he, I want to say,
No, you didn't get it.
lifestyle that you wanted? Was he giving you the house?
At the beginning, when we first get married, I being home wife. I stay home. I cook,
I clean.
Fitting. But then I realized that there is nothing for me. There is just men using me. Like
no, hold on. Did he pay the bills for you?
He pay. Like I move into his house. He always pay.
What are you worried about?
As soon as he, let's say, lose his interest or I do something wrong, he can just kick me out of the house. So,
but did he kick you out?
Yeah, eventually he did.
No, after you went to the club or before?
No. Okay, before the club, we start having complications.
So right off rip, Myron and Fresh know what questions to ask because they deal with this all the time. They see it all the time. Brother Pablo's in the building. What's good, fam? And Brother Pablo's like, if they divorced, then maybe she won. She would have to hang in for like 7 to 10 years before she can get any real alimony. Where I'm assuming that all this took place in Florida. Florida just changed the laws on alimony, no more forever alimony. So in her case, she would get like the base minimum, which is basically nothing. They have like a year structure. We did it on this platform about 1.5 years ago when the law went into effect. So her best play, if she was trying to play the dude, would have been to stay married for at least 7, possibly 10 years and have at least one baby. And then in that situation, she would come out getting half the assets, more likely. She would come out getting alimony for a decent amount of time and then child support. Right. So it's like have the baby right when you're about to, like, you're 6 years in, have the baby, year 6, year 7, get divorced around year 8, 9, or 10. I would say year 10. Right. So you got a young baby, you're going to get alimony, you're going to get the house, you're going to get all sorts of stuff. That would be the best play if you're running that play. That would be the best play. But at the end of the day, you get this little money. He knows how to make bread. He's going to make bread. He's got a good attorney. He's gonna, you know what I mean? He's gonna minimize the damage and he's gonna move on with his life. He's gonna make more money. He's gonna, you know, get another woman. And now here you are, single and alone. All right, yeah, you got a house. You know, you got this kid, and the kid's, you know, split between two families. And one day the kid's like, I want to stay with dad because dad's more fun, you know, because you're always working, mom, and drinking vodka and wine or whatever. It could go that way. So the only way I think to, you know, she won by getting married. But so many women, they chase this ideal, you know, I mean, it's kind of like they've been chasing this tiger. They finally catch the tiger and they don't know what to do with it. Right? They don't know what to do. You know, there are a lot of women out there who will find themselves in the situation that she's in. And bro, they'll just keep a nice house. You know what I mean? They'll make sure that they cook for their man. Like he worked from home, right? When we get into the store and you see what happened, right? They'll make sure they do this taken care of. She will add value. And that's on him. Right? The dude just saw this beautiful exotic dancer and she talked to him and said the right things, and all he can really see is this beautiful body or whatever. You know what I mean? They started sexing it up. She played the game well enough to get in there. She got the ring, but he you know, he just didn't know what he was getting, bro. And that's what it boiled down to. Let's continue.
Like he's being aggressive, and he explained
Why was
that
he being aggressive?
okay, he said that I'm losing respect or whatever. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember. It was a couple of years ago.
Now she doesn't remember.
No.
This was in America. This is in
Yeah, United States.
Okay.
Unlike the first woman, she found a high-value man, but somehow still managed to fumble the opportunity. When confronted, she claimed, "He has been aggressive," a phrase frequently used by many modern women when they find themselves exposed.
What he's saying, I don't know. I didn't love him enough, or you know what? He can say whatever. Like it's not the truth. It's just like miscommunication.
Why was he saying that? I get it. You were being ungrateful, and then he got mad at you because you were going to tell
No, man, I was.
Even Troy Francis, the guy who's sitting in the middle. Troy Francis is like, nah, this doesn't sound right. It's like she's saying all these things. Women, not just women, people, when telling a story, right? It's always the three sides, right? Is his side, her side, and then the truth, which is somewhere in the middle. So, of course, she's gonna tell her side. Wouldn't it be nice to hear his side, right? Troy Francis is looking at it, he's listening and listening. He's like, this don't sound right. Fresh is like, nah. Fresh is around a lot of exotic dancers, bro. That's where he networks in Miami. He's in all the clubs, everything, right? So he's sitting back like, I don't know, bro. This don't sound right. Myron right off rip is like, there's got to be more to this, right? There has to be more. And brother Pablo, yeah, it's, you know, like paying a woman off to get rid of her. If you only been married a couple years, you don't really have to do that. A lot of these guys really do fall for these women. Like men really fall. Like men fall in love for real. Men fall and men love idealistically, which I truly believe. Rollo Tomasi says this all the time. Men love idealistically, and then they will say in most cases, women love opportunistically, right? So, and I'm not saying that's for all women, but there's a good chunk of women out there who are just looking to get the best deal at the time. They'll level up if they get an opportunity. If there's another guy comes along and makes more money, can provide more experiences, whatever. There are women who will jump to the next dude. But to, you know, like to pair off to get rid of her, I mean, that's where your attorney comes in. Like, y'all been married for a few years. The attorney will just say, hey, man, just give her, you know, X amount of grand, probably like 10 grand or something like that. She can go away. Or you can take it to court. And the judge will just be like, no, you're not getting anything. You didn't bring anything into this relationship. He's done all the work. You the one, you know, you went out there and did what you did. There are judges out there like, no, you're not getting anything. Nothing. Some judges might say, okay, he'll give you enough money to get set up in an apartment. So he'll pay for the down payment and 6 months rent, and that's it. You might have a judge to do that, but some judges will be like, no, you're on your own. Plus, you're out here working. They're going to look at your income. She's out there. She's back in the club. She was back in the club before he got rid of her. And it sounds like that they went back and forth twice. But again, she had won. She got the guy. Top tier dude, high earner. She got the guy. But it didn't work out. This is the case when you deal with women in sex work, women in like the adult industries. This is normally a problem when you're dealing with, you know, bartenders and servers and bottle service people. Not always, but it can be a problem.
Was grateful as
I guarantee if we pull them aside and ask them, yo, what happened? She probably was being ungrateful, disrespectful, annoying, giving him a hard time, etc. So that's when he told her, "Yo, get the fuck out the house, bro." Or she's saying, "I'm gonna go to the club now," or some shit like that.
No. It was a little more complicated. Wait, I'll tell you what happened. So he been constantly in the computer. I understand he's a day trading, and I was respectful. I tried to stay away from him and blah blah blah. But he don't give me attention at all. Maybe.
Here we go. Now we get
Fredo, I go to the club.
Hold on, Fredo. If he's a day trader, it takes immense focus and clarity to day trade.
Bro, nigga, straight up, dude. She was just annoying.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
He has to work.
She was
Focus in a
annoying.
room. He can't be like, oh, baby, what do you want to eat?
Here's the thing. She didn't work. She stayed in the house all day. She got bored. She wanted attention.
Yeah.
Because maybe she came here from Russia. She didn't have friends like that. So he was like her only like real social situation. But he's always on the computer working. So she gave him a hard ass time, and he got annoyed. He was like, "Yo, what the?"
But he doesn't want me to have a friend. And as you said, like I'm supposed to stay at home.
I'm right.
She claims that she wasn't receiving enough attention, so she started going to the clubs to seek it from other men, despite knowing that her actions were upsetting her husband. But this gets more interesting when the audience forced her to call Fredo, her ex-husband, live on stream.
Can you call him right now?
Fired. Oh, we're gonna get to see what happened. She actually calls the ex-husband. So they're still cordial, even though, he, kind of put her out a couple times, probably got divorced, obviously got divorced, and she still keeps in touch with him. And the thing is, women say that they want a certain type of guy. Like, I want this guy who's making all this money. I want a dude who's making high 6 figures, 7 figures. I want a guy who's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. Those dudes work all the time. They're constantly working. And then here you have this woman, like he brings her out of the situation she was in. He provides her with the big house. Everything's like, look, just leave me alone when I am working. I got to make this money that you're going out here shopping with. I got to make this money where we're spending on dinners and vacations and all that. You got to leave me alone when I'm making this money. And a real good woman would have found different ways to add value while he's making money, bringing him, waters, maintaining his schedule, for instance, making sure his office was clean and set up the way he needed to set it up. Making sure he got his rest, making sure dinner and everything is ready, like his favorite stuff. That's what the good women do. The women who appreciate the situation. We're about to hear this guy, right? Who she called, and Myron and Fresh are going to talk to this dude and find out. Let's hear his side. We heard her side. Now let's hear his side of the whole thing.
Because I'm going to say exactly what you said. Then I'm going to say, is that true? And tell us why, the real reason you kicked her out.
As a day trader, you need immense focus in a room, locked, no noise.
She was annoying him.
Day
That's
trade.
straight up what
No,
it
no,
was.
no. Wait, I explained one thing because it's important. At the first time I left, and he was upset. That's why he divorced me. But the second time, I called police because he was aggressive and he did bad things. That's why.
It's not crazy.
Did he go to jail because of that?
Even the women don't believe it. Even the women don't believe it. Now, there are plenty of women out here who get in situations and they get dudes who are bad guys and guys who do hurt them. And that's horrific. It should never happen. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But so many women will claim some form of abuse simply as an attempt to save face. She knows good and well what happened. She knows that this dude wasn't trying to hurt her. She understands that, but she had to save face.
That? No, I called his lawyer because I didn't know, guys. This is my okay. So in my country, if I call police, they're gonna say, "Hey, guys, don't do that anymore," and they leave. Yeah, and in this case,
going to jail.
Yes, they took him. I didn't know that they're gonna take him.
Hold on. Did he touch you? Physically?
No.
To police, I said no, but
he did.
Not like he's beating me, but whatever, like something like that.
She probably pushed him.
I'm aggressive too. I can say, but after
she was whooping on him and he pushed her off.
There's more red flags in this story.
But I became that once I live with him the whole year. I haven't been like that.
There's more red flags in this story than the Chinese.
I mean, she's admitting he didn't hit me. He wasn't abusive, really. I told the police, I just thought the police would come and then they would go home, but the police actually took him away. They locked him up, bro. He caught a case. Dude caught a case. Maybe the DA dropped it. Maybe his attorney was able to come in there and sort it all out. But this is one of the major problems in America. One of the major problems. And she probably marked him up. He probably had, visible scars of her, like scratching and all this kind of stuff. And dude probably was like, nah, I ain't gonna get her locked up. Psh, man, I would have. Brother Pablo was like, yeah, dude was dude a simpleton? Yes, he was a simpleton. He was a high-paid simpleton. They're out there, bro. He saw what he wanted. He fell for her game because he saw what he wanted, and he got caught up. Sounds like he got, caught a little bit of a case, got arrested, had to deal with that, whatever. But at the end of the day, sounds like he was all good. But this happens, bro. If you ain't on your game all the time, if you make exceptions and you get caught up with something like this because you saw what you want, man, she's a stripper, bro. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're supposed to lease that, bro. You ain't supposed to buy. You ain't supposed to have her living in the crib with you, man. That's somebody you bring her around when it's time to go have some fun. But he saw what he wanted. He ignored his training, so to speak. I bet you this guy was gamed up. He just saw what he wanted. I'm gonna be able to, Captain Save a Hoe with this Russian chick or whatever, and it cost him dearly.
Nobody's polite, isn't that? To be French, she might as well be Chinese. Exactly. Bro. Okay. Call Fredo, man. Yeah, call Fredo. That nigga needs to be free. Free Fredo.
Look, all the women clowning.
That nigga did no wrong.
Fredo. Hey, what's up, man? How are you? Hey, so you're on the Fresh and Fit podcast live. I just want to let you know, and everybody can hear you. All right, sweet. So your girl's trying to sit here and say that you kicked her out the house. Well, your ex-wife 2 times. She's trying to say that you kicked her out the house or that you were a jerk or whatever it may be. Give us the real reason what went down and why you were annoyed by her, why you guys ended.
As a day trader.
Yeah, as a day trader.
Man, she's not easy, man.
Because here's the thing. She's trying to paint you as a crazy guy on here.
But Fredo, I just go to the club.
She's
For the record. Oh, no, I already knew that, bro, that you ain't put your hands on her.
Yeah, I never put my hands on her. I was let go free and clear. All that got settled out.
Let me ask you a question. Did she hit you first and you kind of had to?
Was y'all catch that right there? They let him go free and clear. All that got settled out. He had to bring his attorneys in there, and it sounds like the DA dropped the charges. But he was facing charges of domestic abuse, right? Or maybe domestic assault. So she had the upper hand on him. And I will give her this. She's not the vindictive type. She didn't run a play. She really didn't know what was going on. She just wanted attention. I'll give her that, right? She's not one of the evil ones. There's some real evil women out there that have it all set up, have scars on themselves. They'll beat them. They'll mark themselves up, tell the police you did it, and press it, right? And while you locked up, run to the bank, empty your accounts. There are women out there that'll do that, bro. Take the credit cards, run them up. There are women that'll do that. There are people out there, dudes out there to run these, really bad plays too, right? So she ain't that. So I'll give her credit where credit is due. She ain't that. But old boy was like, man, he had to get it from under that case. He got from under the case, right? And then, she's sitting there. Like I said, she called the dude up. I don't understand why she called the dude up. She don't sound that bright. She doesn't sound that bright. We got brother D-Mac in the building. What's good, fam? Yes, sir. Hanging out late, man. I didn't go out tonight, man. I think I might do a little something tomorrow, but I didn't go out, do any network or anything like that. Actually, I was standing by. I'm working with a group of brothers, and I was standing by. We might have had to do like a quick jump onto an important Zoom call, but it didn't happen. So, I think we're cool. I think I'm clear tomorrow, so I'm gonna go out and do some networking. You know how I get down, brother. So we just checking out this show.
To get her off you?
She can get aggressive. She can get aggressive.
She even said that.
Mother Russia.
I haven't been like that at the beginning. He taught me to do that. Like I teach from him. I learned from him.
Now it's his fault that you hit him. Okay.
You know the vibes. Right.
Indeed, her statements began to shift. She clearly didn't expect this to happen, as she attempted to cast her ex-husband in a negative light. The real story started to emerge as her ex-husband prepared to expose her.
What caused you to be more I guess more demanding? Because she said she wanted to go work at the club after a while. But what caused her to want to go work at the club if you're like paying all her bills? What caused that?
She said She said the club is her first love.
So, bro, you're paying the bills, taking care of her, and she wants to go work at the club still?
That's amazing.
I bet.
Not to be a victim in this, but I had a lot of patience with her. I had a lot of patience, and it got to the point where she just was dating other men.
That's not true. That's not true.
So when you're dealing with a woman, and if she's an exotic dancer or she's a woman that loves the nightlife, she loves being out there, she loves that attention. You got to understand that's what it is. And he understood that. You heard what he said. He was patient with her. What was he doing? He was trying to show her the way. You can't do that. Right? You can't. You can't teach a grown woman how to be a feminine, femme fatale woman, right? You can't teach that, bro. They got to already know that. And if they part of that world, if they about that life, they're not going to be working in the club. They're not going to be dancing. They ain't going to be on the pole. They're not going to be running bottles. They're not going to be behind the bar. They're not, that's more of an alpha thing. You can't, but so many dudes would meet these women and get to know them. Like this guy sounds like he's gamed up. I bet you the dude's probably like, he might be a black dude. He might be Latin. I'm thinking this dude's probably Latin, right? And he's probably met her down there working in one of the spots down in Miami. And he was thinking, man, she fresh off the boat. I could probably, get her out the situation and then she's going to revert back to the way she was, back in the motherland, wherever she comes from, right? Back in Russia or whatever. But what he didn't realize was that's what she was doing in Russia. She was running her hustle in Russia. That's what she was doing. So many women say they want these top tier men and they want to be, I want to be a wife and I'm going to be, he just has to bring the feminine out of me and I'll cook and I'll clean and I'll do all these things. Nah, he learned that lesson. It cost him dearly. Did you hear what he's saying? Like I was very patient with her and he's trying to work with her because she was what he wanted physically. But his problem was he couldn't see past the beauty and he couldn't see what was inside. Right. And he didn't want to. Let's keep it 100. I bet you if he was sitting here right now, he'd be like, yeah, man, I really didn't want to, man. She was doing her thing. She looked good on my arm. She was doing all the stuff I wanted her to do in the bedroom. She gonna sex you up. She got them tools, but she can't bake a pie, bro. She can't make pancakes from scratch. You know what I mean? She can't make you, I don't know, porridge. I think that's what they make in Russia, right? She can't do none of that. She can't do none of that. And this is the problem with most dudes. They're not trained all the way up. They fall, man. They fall off. And they wind up with a woman like this. But he did get lucky because she could have really wrecked him, but she didn't. And then, all this is going on. He's being patient. He's trying to train her up. And what does she do? I need attention. I'm going back to the club. I'm about to go here and start smashing these dudes because they giving me the attention that you want. And the only way I can get the attention from these guys is if I give them what they want. And they want that Foxy Brown. They want the sex.
That's not true.
Sis.
It's not true.
I had no doubt she wouldn't. But she'll still go out on dates, let them take her shopping. Shit like that.
Oh, she was tricking.
Yeah.
She was pimping.
That was not the full story from Mother Russia.
Yeah.
That wasn't.
I'm telling you, listen, be deceiving, but
Oh no, we knew, bro.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
want to hear your
He
side
going in.
because
He
girls
going in.
always
He let
lie
it go.
about the man's side. They put the guy as the bad guy. Oh, blah blah blah.
Hey, ask you this: how many times did I break up with her? Probably just one time, and that's why we ain't together. But she broke up with me so many times, and I know the game. I know how it is. I'm patient. She's a woman. I know where she's at mentally. But it gets to the point where it's you're dating other guys.
I didn't date him.
This dude's 100% Latino. This dude's Latino, bro. He saw what he wanted and he went for it, and it cost him. Right? That's just the bottom line, bro. You're not going to be able to save some woman who's on the pole. It ain't going to happen, man. It's not. That money comes too fast. It comes too easy. And then even later in their careers, when their beauty begins to fade, bro, they don't know how to be feminine. They don't know. They just don't know. A lot of women weren't raised that way. Just like a lot of dudes aren't raised to be masculine. They just don't know. Right? That's where we are right now, bro. That's why everything is so messed up. It's so convoluted. Right? Dudes go out here, they don't know what they're dealing with. Women go out here. Even if you have a woman who's out here doing her thing and she sees a guy that she wants, what's she going to use to bring him in? She's going to use sex. She's going to use sex. The women who are raised in such a way that they don't use sex, their body as leverage, those women get married early. Those women find the guys they want. They place their bets early and then they stick. But like this Russian woman, she won. She found the one dude. She found Captain Save-A-Ho. And she's over there talking about, I want to be saved. And he wanted to save her. And he was, like he said, I was being patient, I was trying to teach her. Look how it worked out. She wound up going right back to where she was, doing her thing, right? Getting that attention. Dudes taking her out, dudes taking her shopping. You get addicted to the lifestyle, bro. It's that fast money. Just like guys, the fast money for dudes, that street life. They out there selling, doing what they doing. That fast money come with a lifestyle. You get addicted to the lifestyle. Point blank. She's addicted to the lifestyle. You're going to give me the attention I want. I'm going to go out here and get the attention. Never mind the fact that you're making millions of dollars in that room, working hard for me. I don't care. I want attention right now. I want you to do this for me right now. I want this. I want. And dude's like, I can't. I got to make this money for us. I got to take care of these bills. You keep running up, right? I'm trying to get it to where we can go to Paris because you want to go to some, fashion show or whatever. I'm trying to get the money up so we can go to the Met Gala. Nope. Give me my attention. I'm going to go to the club and get it from some random dude, and I'm going to let him smash. He can take me shopping. He can buy me some Van Cleef. He can buy me an Hermes, whatever. And he going to put me in a nice hotel. We're going to get to a little penthouse hotel. He going to smash me while I'm overlooking the city. She don't care. She getting the attention. Meanwhile, dude sitting there stuck on stupid, and he's still in love with this woman. He's still in love with her. That's why he answered the phone when she called. Please try to call me. If I'm dude, please try to call me. You're going to get that boo, boo, boo. The number you have reached is no longer in service. Brother D Mac is like, man. He was like, well, the reality is beauty alone never keeps a man married as Halle Berry or J-Lo. That is a fact. That is a fact. And beauty fades, man. And beauty fades. Like, how long were they married? We don't know, man, but it's safe to say they were married less than 3 years. We don't know how long they were married, bro. They didn't say it in this clip. Maybe they said it in other parts of the podcast. We just didn't hear it, like at the beginning. But I am going to assume that they were married less than 3 years.
My friend gave me a ride and like just. Yeah, it's happened after you kick me out of the house and I have to pay everything myself. Then when I said, and you date bitch 100%.
Period. Go ahead, talk that shit. Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play the same game. Eventually, that's it. I can't stay, loyal in that regard because at the end of the day, I'm here at home. I'm trying to make some money, and she's out there. Yeah, we don't live together because. First of all, we had to sleep in different bedrooms.
Voila.
Impossible to sleep with her in the same room.
Wow.
Why?
So, I am shocked that she made the call. She could have called any of your body and be like, oh, he didn't answer. She could have called herself. I am shocked that she made the call. Like definitely a bad look. And then they didn't even sleep in the same room. That tells you right there how much he was really into this woman, man. This guy loved this woman. You see this so often. This is not a one-off. You see this happens all the time. All the time. I see dudes going around. There's guys out there who love falling in love with strippers, man. They do it all the time. They do it all the time. I'm talking about wealthy guys, man. They do it all the time. And I ain't never seen it work. I'm sure it has, but I ain't never seen it. People like, oh man, I keep dancers over here. I keep them over here. I might need to look good going to an event, right? I might need some dimes on my arm. I get one of these girls. I'm cool with them. I bring them in there so they can work, they can work their side, do what they want to do. I'm going to bring them around some top tier dudes. They make me look good. I give them opportunity to make some connects. right? And the guys in there thinking, oh man, I'm still his woman. I stole his girl. I'm like, bro, that's everybody's girl, man. I just brought her here to get in here. I brought them women with me so I can get comped this bottle over here, bro. You ain't did nothing. Like you ain't did nothing, homie. You know what I mean? Like, you better act right, player. Because if you don't act right, I had them girls run your pockets and bring me the money. Don't get it twisted for a heartbeat, bro. Don't get it twisted for a second, bro. I'll put them girls to work, man. They'll run your pockets. Because these guys are bro, they see a big butt and a smile, they go crazy, man. I guess they ain't never heard that song Poison.
Why? Yeah, she had her own room.
What?
And you couldn't make even a peep of noise, because then if she would wake up,
What the fuck?
all hell will break.
If you enjoyed this video, watch this one. And don't forget to...
That was a cool little video, man. That was a cool little video. Like, bro, it's women don't understand. They just don't. They just don't, man. Like, I talk to women all the time. We talk about the sexual marketplace, bro. They just don't get it. They just don't. You get so many women out here busting their ass at work, making all this money, man. They climbing the corporate ladder. They're like, I got houses. I have a real estate portfolio, stocks, bonds. I have precious metals, right? I'm successful. I'm making all this bread. Well, the more money she makes, the more money the guy that she needs to be her significant other has to make. Right? Women generally date across and up. They're not trying to date down. Just like the model who was on here, the older model. She's like, no, I'm not gonna date a guy who makes less than me. So if there's a woman out there and she's making $800,000 a year, she's probably not gonna talk to a guy who's making low six figures. If he's making $200,000 a year, she's probably not gonna talk to that guy. He doesn't financially qualify. Right. So if she's in the top 8% of earners, then she needs someone, above her. And that is because women believe that attraction is the same for men and women. Well, I'm making all this money and I have this big title and I have all these degrees. That makes me more attractive to guys because these guys who have all these things, that's what they want. They really want a woman that's just as powerful as they are, and they could be a power couple. That's what they telling you so they can smash. They don't want a power. They don't want to be a power couple. They're saying that to you so they can smash. What do they want? They want beautiful women. Like they want women who are physically fit and just beautiful. That's what they want. That's where it starts. Right. But a guy could care less how much money you make. He doesn't care, especially wealthy dudes do not care about how much money you make. The average guy, he will. Not that he wants your money, but it's going to make him feel away. He's going to make him feel away when, he can't afford to take you to a place that you like. You got a guy who's like, well, I can afford to take her to Capitol Grill maybe once a year. She's going to look down on that Capitol Grill. To him, it's like, I worked up to that. I'm trying to impress you. She's like, bro, she's in there because, okay, I guess I'll go in here. But where does she want to go? She wants to go to Fig and Olive. She wants to go to Mr. Chow. She wants to go to, Dirty French. She wants to go to Catch. Like she wants to go to wherever the hottest restaurant is where you guys live or the nearest big city. So if she's living in Tampa, bro, you got to take her to Miami or DC or New York or Atlanta, maybe Atlanta. You got to take her to a big city, man, so she can go to these places that she wants to go to. And it's like, how you going to do that making $150,000 a year? Right? And she's making, 5-6 times that a year. She's rubbing elbows with powerful guys that she's looking up to. It's hard. So I tell dudes like, hey, man, you got to be gamed up. Be careful who you let your emotions out on. Like, don't fall for that woman right there. Because if you ain't on her level financially, bro, it's probably not going to work. Now, are there exceptions? Yes. Yes, there are absolutely exceptions. There are women out there who make a ton of money, married to a guy who's like, owns his own business. Like he's a plumber or something like that. But you look at Ebony K. Williams. Ebony K. Williams is the woman who was saying, I couldn't date a bus driver unless he owned a bus. And she's been out here trying to find herself a top tier guy. She wants to be a mom. She wants to start a family. She wants to do all this kind of stuff. Like, she's already a millionaire. So she's out here looking for multimillionaires. And what happened? She couldn't find one. She couldn't find a guy who would marry her. She couldn't find a guy that she wanted. So what did she do? She got herself inseminated. And now she's about to have a baby. She's chosen to be a single mom. She's about to have a baby. She went out. She bought some sperm. She got the sperm put in. Bam. She's about to have a baby. Miracle of modern science. Right? Like, why? I mean, you want to be happy for her, but I'm not sure she understands what she put herself, with the situation she put herself in. I'm not sure she truly understands it, or maybe she doesn't care. Again, she's a multimillionaire. She can afford to have not a nanny. She can have an au pair. Right? She can afford the best schools. She can afford to do all these things and get all the help she needs to help her raise her child. So you're going to spend all that money on all this help, but you wouldn't be with a guy who loves you and would have loved to share a life with you, like to have a child, marry you. You wouldn't pay for that. Like, no, I can't do that. Like, it blows my mind, but this is the world we live in. The game has changed, brother D-Mac. Like, most of the women who are making a lot of money do not come off as feminine, and that is not attractive to me. Facts. To make that kind of money, you're going to have to be alpha to an extent. You got to be alpha. The higher you go up that corporate ladder, the more alpha you got to be. Even if you can hold on to your femininity, you're still going to use it as a weapon. Like, you're just going to use it to lull someone into a false sense of security, or that they have some sort of power over you, and then you're just going to smite their ass, right? There's women who master that. Very feminine, like, boom, they take care. Oh, they play that. Oh, can you help me with this and that? Man, they know what the time it is. They're trying to figure out where you at. They're using whatever tools they can to figure out where you at in this corporate thing, and they just gonna rock your world. There's women out there who do that. I mean, it's dog eat dog into the top, man. You got to use all your tools. It is what it is. It's tough, right? I tell people all the time, man, it's tough, but you got to be up on the game. This poor dude, I can't call him a poor dude because he screwed up, man. But this dude, he goes into a strip club to get this woman, and it's like, that's what you get, bro. It sounds like he didn't get smited, but he could have gotten really smited. But that's on him. He made a mistake, bro. He went after the wrong woman. It cost him. I'm sure he learned from it. Some dudes never learn. That same guy was like, well, why don't you go after that corporate woman? I'm sure he's had some corporate women. He's just like, nah, they're not feminine. It's hard to find that woman or that man. But from, we speaking from a male perspective, it's hard to find that woman that everyone wants, that highly sought after woman, that woman who wants to be at home. Even if she has a career, like, if she's working because she chooses to. And a lot of those women will start a business from home. They rather be with their children. They rather be cooking and cleaning and all the rest of it and running the household. They're cool with that. This is the life they want. There are women out there like that. You just got to find them, right? They're hard to find because they tend to get married young. They come out of the home, ready for this sort of life. They're not messing around. They go to college, get the degree, but they're looking for a husband while they're in school. They're purposely like trying to be with the same dude. They're not out there smashing all that. They're not living that life, that city girl life, their best life or whatever. They're not doing all that. You ain't going to find them in a nightclub. You ain't going to find them in the lounge. You ain't going to find them on a yacht party. Right? You're not going to find them there. And like I said, they get married young. They find the minute they want and they lock in early. And there's a lot of women who don't. They're too busy chasing their careers, or they're too busy chasing their lifestyle. They're chasing experiences, chasing dudes. They're going out here doing their thing. They smashing all these guys. And I tell these young women, like, if you're going to do that, at least keep it in the closet, man. Don't be filming it. Be careful where you go, who you rock with, because dudes care about your past. And that is a fact. Dudes care about your past. They're going to look into it. They're going to look into it. They're going to see what's up. That can mess everything up. You manage to get yourself a top tier dude, and then your past comes from out of nowhere and he finds out about it. It's over. It's over. I'm over, man. Appreciate you, brother Pablo. He's out of here on the West Coast, man. Try to stay cool out there, brother. I know it's hot out there, man. It's hot in the West Coast and it's raining down here in the South. Brother D Mac, like, hey, let's be real, Saint. When you are young and earning your stripes in the game of life, you understand most women who are striping or damaged goods. Yeah. I'm sorry, stripping. Most women who are stripping are damaged goods, and no money in the world can save them. Bro, I'm telling you, bro, I feel you, but I'm telling you, these guys, they know better, but they do it anyway. Why? Because they see the woman that they want. She is running a finesse. Even if the finesse is just telling him what he wants to hear. She is saying everything that he wants to hear. She is his oasis. And bro, he knows better, but he let his emotions out. And he got caught up, bro. I'm with you. You should know better, bro. You should know better. I can't tell you how many dudes I met, guys that I know, and I've seen them fall for women, either dancers or, like I said, people in some sort of sex work. Now you got OF, but back in the day, you had women who were doing the call girl thing. You had women who were just hanging out around the pro athletes. I done seen dudes fall for these women. I done seen them have babies with these women. Like, people get caught up, bro. But I'm with you. They should know better. You out here doing your thing. You should know better. But they get caught up. And I tell these guys too, like, man, don't be spending that time in the gentleman's club. Like, I'll go in there. I network. I do what I do. But man, don't go fall in love with these chicks. What's wrong with you, bro? Just get out of here, man. Go someplace regular, man. Go, wherever. They go to the local lounge down the street or go to a cigar bar, go wherever. They keep coming in there, man. They want that eye candy. And them girls, like I say, man, they will sell you the dream, bro. Some of these dancers, bro, they'll tell you exactly what you want to hear. You'll put on those rose-colored glasses and fall for the okie doke like this guy did. Right. But, at least it sounds to me that he took his lumps. But the thing is, he's still in touch with her, which is a crazy thing. So maybe he just has her come over to rock her out. You know what I mean? Because the Foxy Brown just that good. Like, it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. But that's it. That's the game, man. That's the understanding. Right. And when I see dudes falling like that, I'm like, bro, you better be careful. They do it anyway. I know what I'm doing. All right, bro. You catch them a couple years later. Yeah, man, I should have listened to you. I should have listened to you, bro. Like, hey, man, you knew what time it was. You made your move. It is what it is. You played, you placed your bet, man. You played your lottery card and you lost. Or there's some dudes out there that played the same card and won. Yeah, some. But I've seen so many girls. If a girl's in there and she's been in there for over a year, she's on the pole doing her thing, man. She's doing her thing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Let her do her thing. Have some fun with her. Go on trips with her. Smash. She can bring her friends. Y'all can do the three-way, all that, man. Get down, have all that fun. But you can't get serious with one. You can't. You can't get serious, bro. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And the stuff that he didn't talk about, I guarantee you, he had to fix her credit. He probably had to get her out of the financial hole. You know what I mean? Like, and at the same time, still taking her shopping, still doing all this stuff. He's working twice as hard just to have this woman here. She ain't cooking. She ain't cleaning, bro. But like you said, he was like, I was patient with her, trying to give her every opportunity. Yeah, all right. That's just how it was, man. Brother D Mac, like, when I was young in the ATL, I lived in a building where several Magic City dancers live. Woo, not Magic City. Magic City and Club Nicky's, bro. Whew, Lord have mercy. I got some stories to tell you, bro. I bet you do. I bet you do. Club Nicky, Magic City, woo, and the ATL, man. Oh my God, back in the 90s and beyond. Whew, boy. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So I just wanted to jump in, chop it up. I had to sip on a little something. We got some big shows coming up, y'all. We got Sister Michelle coming back probably on Tuesday night. Sister Michelle is the woman who's married and she has an open relationship, her and her husband. So she's coming back. We're going to do a little more talking about that world amongst some other things. I kind of want to pick her brain. And I have some more people lined up. I don't want to say their names yet because I'm waiting for confirmation and trying to figure out our calendars and stuff like that. But we're going to have some fun throughout the summer. And then once band camp starts and then we get ready for school, I'm going to go back to our Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, doing our shows. Because high school is starting, man. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. And that's my priority. Y'all know what time it is. I just love watching my little girl out there playing her trombone, doing her thing, trying to learn her little routines and how to march and stuff. But I was telling my daughter, like, yeah, when I was in high school, we didn't march the way they march. They just march, that's all they doing. Now we march like Southern, like we march like Central State. That's how we march, bro. We was out there doing our thing, like, hey, we dancing and everything. You know what I mean? And then my daughter, she was like, well, can you show me what it looked like? And I would just pull up A&T or I pull up whatever. I'm like, we dance like that. Pull up FAMU, like we dance like that. She just sitting there with her eyes wide open, like, y'all did all that? Like, oh yeah, and much, much more. Like in high school, like, yes, in high school. Like we got down. So I'm looking forward to it. I was in a band, now my daughter's in the band. This is gonna be fun. Next 4 years is gonna be amazing. Thanks for rocking out with me, guys. Those are my thoughts on what's going on with modern women today. And these dudes ain't helping themselves, bro. There are so many women out there talking about, well, these simpletons up there, even top tier guys use high value men. They're up here, leading with their wallet. Like, yeah, go ahead and find them. I ain't mad at you, girl. Get them. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, get me a bottle when you come out, because I'm the dude that's waiting in the background. When she comes out, she's ready to have fun because she ain't getting the attention from her dude because he's too busy working. Well, guess what? I'm that guy in there drinking on that bottle that she just bought and put on his card. And she's going to come back to my tally and we going to do what we do and then she's going to go home. You know what I mean? None the worse for wear. I'm not taking her shopping. I am not doing that. She could take me shopping. She could take me out to eat. Her husband probably be looking like, how come you been going to Mr. Child so much? Uncle Saint's in town. That's why. So I'm about to get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all, man. This was fun. So I'm sure I'll be back maybe Sunday, maybe tomorrow. It depends. I'll probably, you know what? Tomorrow will just be an upload. Be looking out for the shorts. Shout out to Brother Cody. He's out there telling him, like, man, do more shorts. So I'm gonna be out looking for the shorts. And you can catch me on like Flow State, Raging Tomato, Base Oracle, even Glenn Lawrence. I'm all over the place, man. I'm out there making friends, hitting these different spots, hitting these different spaces. Just kind of get my 2 cents in there. Appreciate y'all rocking out with me, man. I'm DL Saint. This is I Really Want to Know podcast. Peace.
Nothing like I've ever seen. It's just a thing of beauty.
Darn, that's the end.